audio's good on that. I can hear me chewing the ice. Got the mic right here, baby. Oh, that all sounds good. This is nice. It's a nice new setup where I'm not looking at the computer. And I can move it down. So when I do my cards, yes, this looks, oh yeah, now I feel like a pro. Polish the crystal ball. Let's polish the tower. Gotta get this stick just right. Oh yeah, really close and hazardous right there. It's my full moon candle, y'all. It's almost been through all the signs at this point. It started at Libra, and it's been through every full moon, and now we're at the Leo full moon, which has really come in real strong. That's for sure. So strong, in fact. It's like they had the what's happened? I mean, so much has happened in the last couple weeks, ever since. Talk about the moon, of course. There we go. First one to pop out for us. Diving deep already. Because so much has just been happening. Moon's out there again. So much is happening, we have to get away from it. Because, like, I've made these predictions, like, forever ago, that things were going to go down with Trump. That's for sure. Like, I just knew it. This GameStop thing happening today is, like, amazing as far as I'm concerned. I'm so glad it's happening. These are like the times to be living in. Because, like, you know, it's just so funny how, like, they shut everything down, or they're trying to shut everything down, or they've been trying to, at least, since, like, Trump's been elected. And all they do is lose, because the prediction I made in 2016 when Trump got elected was that they were going to basically, the deep state, you know, was basically going to reveal what was really going on, just to, like, try to not sidestep, but try to out-strategize the rest of us, you know. But, you know, evil can't win. So they should not be allowed to win. But, you know, every story has the good guy always triumphing, right? Because it's like, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's like a parallel universe where the bad guy wins. But they don't really last long because all that happens is they destroy themselves. And I think what we're moving towards is like definitely a more, I don't know, everybody's gonna start getting open. Like basically the trick for this year is to do what the Redditors are doing right now with the GameStop trades and all this stuff. Like right now, like 2020, it was like a flipped year basically because it was a 4 year, but then everything got scattered, you know. But this year, this is the rebuilding, restructuring phase of things. So essentially, uh, like in the Five of Wands, it's a it's a it's a card of struggle, or at least the image of it is like struggling. But it's really about this. It's a battle right now. We're in full battle mode right now, and but not only to think about it as in a battle, but also as a rebuilding, which is what's going on right now. We kind of have to fight for our sticks, basically. And, you know, it's actually on the bottom of this deck is Knight of Wands. There we go. Knight of Wands. You know, it's time to go forward. Grab our sticks. Grab, you know, everything we can and work towards, you know, building what's really important for us. I'm not going to stream that long. Just want to start getting used to this. But we are really in this phase of like rebuilding mode and like gathering all that we can, because, you know, right now it was kind of like they knocked over this house of cards or house of sticks, how you want to put it, and now they're scattering to grab everything. But, you know, we have to really think ahead, and we really have to like start working together and not battling each other like they want us to do, right? Or like they've been trying to do for the longest, but it's not, it just can't work anymore. Now when we have the power of the internet and social media where we can actually talk to each other, even no matter how much they try to shut us down, shut anybody down, there's always a place for us to talk. And if they shut down the whole internet, we can still go outside and make a rabble rousing if we need to be, where we need to be heard, for real, for real. But it's definitely an interesting time to be alive, that's for sure. Interesting moves taking place. This is my new planner for this year, and I've been marking off all the significant astrological events going on, at least as many as I can. So, what are we looking at here? Today is the 28th. Look at that. The sun and Jupiter will be conjunct tomorrow. That's why all this stuff is happening. Oh man, these are playing ever in like such a good favor. But also, what's going to be happening is on this Saturday, Mars. No, is it Mars? Oh no, Mars is in Taurus right now. Let's see it. the conjunction ended on this past couple of days, but Anchor is still feeling the effects of it coming off. Uh, yeah, so the Sun and Saturn and Jupiter, they're kind of all in a big like party mode right now. At least a little bit of one. At least it started with Saturn because Saturn's earlier in Aquarius, so that's why we've been feeling all this intense energy in this year because like I mean, in my natal chart, Saturn and the Sun are conjunct. Actually combust, if you that's the term. But um, with those two energies together, and like Saturn's the old ruler of Aquarius, and the Sun is actually in detriment in Aquarius according to the energy of it. It's probably because Aquarius isn't so much about like shining bright, you know. That's definitely how I feel. Like I'm more of a private person when it comes to like my personality. Only because it's like I'm weird, so that's why I feel weird about it. But the Sun, Saturn, and Jupiter energy all together, it's like putting all the and then Uranus in Taurus is certainly is squaring off with everything in Aquarius right now in these early degrees because Uranus is at 5 degrees Taurus, and where are we at? Well, these are at 9 degrees. The Sun's at like 8 or 9 degrees right now. So we're kind of coming out of an intense exact square, but you know, if you're knowledgeable about that kind of stuff, you can give like a 10-degree and a 10-degree orb, and you can see it like still in that energy, this friction energy of like being honest about like where we're at and who we are. And the Aquarian energy is like, you know, kind of shy about it. Because Aquarians, we're extroverted people. We have an extroverted personality, and but we don't like to be sort of thrust out in the front of everybody. You know, that's why there's not a lot of super famous Aquarians. And if they are, they're very, very like low key. So all this craziness that's coming out to the forefront is this Uranus square Saturn energy, and Uranus square the Sun and square Jupiter. That's been happening all this month. Or at least it's really intensifying, at least right now, this week. Or as soon as the Sun entered Aquarius, like it really got intensified. You know, the Sun entered Aquarius on the 20th, yeah, right when Biden got in office, and stuff has been crazy since then. So moving forward, you know, the Saturn and Uranus square is kind of like a how do I want to express that energy? Or how can I say that energy? It's like it's gonna be going on for a while, isn't it? I think it ends in there it goes, right there, right before April starts. Yeah, so the square root, I marked it off as easing off. But March 28th is when this energy eases off. So we're going to be in for a long time. So keep holding, keep holding. I must say, that's really awesome. You know, this, all this stuff coming up to surface, it's like, you know, it's also about, you know, Aquarius is about community. That's why it's not so much about I think that's why Aquarius have this energy of not being out in the forefront and like that, because Aquarius is about the community, about people. You know, it's not about one individual person. You know, like that's what the age of Aquarius is about. It's about us coming together and really realizing it's this like this individualized idea, this idea of individualism that we've been talking about for the last few years. It's more of Mr. Medicare is like we're a collective individuals, right? And we are, but it's more like in realizing how we're all connected. Actually, you know, we're all connected to each other, not only through the internet, but just with our spirit. Because all is one, and one is all. Because there's one spirit who shares, and that spirit is shared with all of us here and beyond. You know, because everything is spirit. Everything is connected through spirit. You know, evil in the evil thing. My thoughts about taxation. Uh, Taxes should be. I have a lot of thoughts about money in general, actually, but taxation. I think it's obvious that tax money doesn't go to where they claim it should go. It would be like it's one thing to get taxed and like the money's actually going towards something that we know is going towards, but there's literally no no one's like, has anyone done an audit of where all the tax money goes? You know, I've looked at there was one time I looked at where I think it was like when Trump first got elected, and I looked at his the financial policies of where he proposed tax money to go. But these are just proposals, you know, and Congress had to approve this funding. So, and plus, like, it's such long documents too of where all this money goes. Like, gosh, I wasn't finna go through all that. But, like, I'm not really big about taxation, I suppose. Cause I feel like there's a necessity, yes, to run public services, but I feel like we should only be obligated to pay those taxes if we actually know where every dollar is being spent, and like there should be like just more accountability for this kind of stuff. If like, I mean, when I take over the world, you know, I would want like any sort of taxes that are collected to be used directly for educational services, environmental services, technology innovations. Like, these are the kind of things that tax money should be going towards. It's something we the people would be interested in that money going towards, improving our lives in a general sense. But, you know, I grew up in poor parts of towns, and it makes no sense how there's all this tax money floating around to make all the, you know, make things look nice. We can, you know, make the town square look prettier, but we can't fix up old schools that have like ancient freaking pipes in there or whatever, you know, that kind of thing. Like, there's, you know, they put all this money into Common Core education and it's trash, but they don't do anything to fix up the actual schools themselves. So, like, taxation is theft, essentially. And because we don't know where it's going, and people are definitely being overtaxed. And I mean, super rich people are definitely being undertaxed, or somehow they can evade the taxes, you know. I feel like that's part of the next thing to be exposed with all this. They say they're already referencing Gamergate earlier, so. And I just find this, there's so many synchronicities. I'm not going to get into them. But, like, it is kind of like a Gamergate 3.0 or Electric Boogaloo edition, because, you know, as gamers rise up, GameStop is like, you know, just exposed how these hedge funds been working and everything like that. And the next thing to come out of this is absolutely, you know, definitely how the money flow is just going to come out of everything right now. Jupiter is conjunct Saturn. Jupiter is conjunct the Sun tomorrow, so a whole lot more is going to be exposed. Like boom, like for real, for real. Because over the weekend things are going to start getting really exciting. Especially with this Saturn and Uranus. I mean, yeah, Saturn and Uranus square that's happening. So, oof. Taxes, though, man. It's funny because like if taxes were used where they were what they are supposed to be used for, that would be socialism. But they say, but anytime you bring up any social programs, stuff like that, oh, you're trying to bring communism and socialism, blah blah blah. But the problem is, they're thinking in this small. People who made that argument are thinking very very small, because in these. Okay, look. So like I watched a few documentaries about how like for one how there's secret agents who interfere in other countries. So like any countries like Bolivia, the Congo, um, what do we say? I think that was the two examples. Cuba, they actually implemented forms of socialism, and these countries were prospering until there were these. All of a sudden, people were upset. But why were they upset? Because they were paid to be upset by who? The glow in the dark niggas. So we already know what happened there, and then so people got, because in the Congo, in 1979, or it was in the 70s, the late 70s. But Patrice Lumumba became a leader and became president of the Republic of Congo, and then people were happy. He actually didn't even take a president's salary. He kept his salary that he had as a military officer, which was way lower. He just put the rest of the money into an orphanage, actually. Like doing socialist things. But then the agents came in, they paid people to take him out, and now everything's in chaos. Like everything you see in chaos right now in Africa is through agent influence, or just the trauma of colonialism. And like there's so much harm that's been done just through those avenues, and all this just so Western powers could maintain a certain way of life. And now we're at this point where like they can't even maintain the way of life that a lot of us become accustomed to now, because of how much money is being thrown around now, and this fiat currency. There's nothing there. I think there's a lot. There's so much better things we could be doing in this country with all the money that gets passed around. Like when they exposed themselves with that COVID bill, and we saw how much money was going towards places. Actually, on that note, like also with tax money being stolen from people, let's not forget about Ukraine. The Ukraine Biden situation. I don't know if that's probably gonna get my stuff shut down. Who knows? But I watched that when it came out. I went and read the stuff that was posted, and I watched a little press conference the guys were having. And, you know, Ukrainian textiles were stolen, and American textiles were stolen, for this quote unquote, I don't know, gas company they claimed it was, and like, uh, it was really wasn't. It was just like a fake company set up just so they can transfer wealth between each other. And it's no surprise that uh, it got ignored, of course, by Twitter and all that kind of stuff. It went trendy, but then all the, I don't know, I guess bots, not really bots, but the NPCs who freaking run Twitter only let like the team posts basically get to the top of the stream or get to the top of the feeds. But yeah, but no. But basically, the super rich are doing socialism for themselves, obviously. But you know, if we want that for ourselves, oh, we're the bad guys. We're just we're promoting radical left. Well, there are radical left ideas, absolutely. Like we've seen that in place. We definitely know when the left can go too far. Um, I think we're seeing it now, obviously, with all the censorship. It's beyond gone too far. The fact, Jordan Peterson's absolutely right. It's like there's so much they're trying to do through this false lens of identity politics and all this kind of stuff. And it's like it reminds me back to another Gamergate reference of not your shield. You can't just try to how you say it? Like you can't just try to use like your I don't know, your race or your gender as some kind of like shield against whatever. I don't know. Like I don't understand how they're doing it. I wish I knew how to do it. Maybe I would have like a lot more money too. Just to grip off of being a black woman. I should figure it out. Ugh. Donate to me because I'm black and I'm a lady, please. Yeah, man. But yeah, that's what I was getting at. On the COVID bill, when that all came out, and you saw these weird fees coming out of our own American tax dollars, 900 billion of it not going back to the Americans. And I literally, and you do the calculation yourself. 900 billion divided by 300 million Americans. It's like 330 million Americans right now, isn't it? Everyone should have got at least 2,500. At the very least. At the most 4,000, 3,000, 4,000. That's what people have been past due. And they sent folks $600, man. That audacity. And then you look at the little bill and you see what there's all the money they're spreading out all over the place into these random things. And and it made me think of the Biden-Ukraine situation, where they're probably just putting money into these shell companies or offshore accounts or false charities just to get the money back into their own pockets or back and circle into the economies they wanted to circle in. I mean, this is just a theory based off of things I've read, so I don't know. But I think it's a pretty solid theory considering all the things going on, financially speaking. I mean, certainly if I get like nuked, it'll definitely be confirmed. But yeah, that's why I use my great mind, psychic powers to think about stuff. You know. But it's not anything new, particularly in this life. People cheating each other. It's just gone to a really extreme level of like, wow, like obscene levels of just corruption, and with the media and the politics, like the great four evils. If there's like in spirituality, in natural law, there's the four forces. With the four elements, and then there's the four forces, the four types of life, the four levels of consciousness, and the four evils: money, government, media, and drugs. And I say drugs light. I don't mean like cannabis. I mean like the drugs that take people out of their, like really take them out of their mind. Or rather, it's not. Drugs is kind of like on the borderline of that, where when you're doing them wrong with the wrong intentions, they don't work like they're supposed to. But all these synthesized pharmaceuticals, they're all bad. But the natural herbs that come out of the earth, the natural flowers and herbs that we mix together to make our medicines, there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm very concerned. I'm extremely concerned about the people who are using psychedelics recreationally. That's a medicine. Like you wouldn't if you wouldn't take codeine. Like you're not supposed to be taking codeine. Just randomly for fun. It's something for healing, not for fun. Absolutely. And I think people are like overhyping it a bit, and like it's not gonna. I don't know. Like people talk about DMT experience and stuff like that, and it's like I know people are searching for it. I know that's why. Like it's necessary to have this, to really have the experience in our life, a full DMT experience, right? A psychedelic experience, a moment where you dissolve the ego and really come to know the true full self. But the danger right now is that people aren't connected spiritually before they indulge in these things. And so like if you come from, like, I've never taken a psychedelic, but I've had DMT like it's experiences, because it's naturally producing in our mind, in our brain. So if you practice meditation and concentration, and also smoke a little bit of weed, that can help too. At least that helped for me. But you never need the weed. You don't need anything really if you become naturally. When you become aware how it produces in your body, or how you can make it produce in your body, you can just do it anytime. At least when you mentally prepare yourself, right? When you have the space to like sit there and like allow your brain to open up and like let the energy flow. So yeah, but I know there's a lot of things that happen negatively on this planet, just because of the fact that we're not spiritually connected with ourselves. So like, it's like once you recognize the spirit within yourself, and also within others, because no one is without spirit, and like if you're a living person, you have a living spirit in you, from the rock to the human, everything has a spirit. The earth has its own spirit, and Like every planet, everything created has a spirit to it. The atom has a spirit to it. Um, and so when you recognize the spirit, you can like it's just a doorway into like everything else that uh, is of importance. You know, so when you open up the spirit, you realize, oh, money, government, the media, and bad drugs have been blocking you from spirit for a long time. You know, it's not only bad drugs too. It's, you know, it's also bad foods. You know, these GMO foods that also like um, keep us from nourishing our full selves and nourishing our full bodies, and then we our DNA isn't activated the way it should be, and it and then like we're not, and then all these different vibrations, let's say, that affect us, um, keep us, can block you from knowing your spirit, you know. But more than anything, it's about knowledge, you know. It's just knowing that, and people just don't know because they haven't been told that. But we should really start telling each other that, like, you have a spirit. The spirit's within you. There's nothing to be afraid of, because like, you know, I guess that does. I guess the psychedelics and stuff do help people discover that on their own, but or at least it gets them on the right path. You know, um, I just worry. I just worry about people in general. So I think it's just if we have the knowledge going into it, it just makes it a better experience, I suppose, and you respect it more. Um, I suppose once I eventually get to have my ayahuasca experience, you know, I will absolutely be like, I'm totally in the right mind for it now. Like once I get my chance to go down there, I'm taking it. Everybody needs a DMT experience in their life, though. Not only just, you know, I just feel like they do. Everyone does, because like it's necessary to just know that that exists within you. You know, just unaided. Uh, I mean, the whole problem with everything is, you know, like I said, it's the money situation. The problem with money, and it's like we're so deep in this system right now. It's like we can't even just drop it like immediately. Uh, like if it were possible, I mean, we could just, I mean, with using cryptocurrencies, we're attempting to transition out of how it currently works right now. But it's like even with the crypto, as beautiful as it is in its endeavor, um, we just have to like, I don't know, like as far as the backing of it goes, I don't know. I mean, find the value in it. I mean, yeah, because we can create our own value of anything, and really use that. And we should be doing that. We should be moving more towards like decentralized cryptos at this point, because we see how the economy works, and it's not going to last much longer. I think that's obvious. Um, Oh, 49 minutes. Yeah. What was I saying? But yeah, crypto, man. Stellar lumens, man. Let's get that bag. Let's get that space money. Heck yeah. Back to the moon. So like this Leo full moon energy, it's like basically, like full moons, they illuminate the dark, and like a full moon is like having the sun at night. So all this stuff that's been done in the dark is just now being exposed. And Leo is about like taking, you know, hold of things, taking charge. And so we saw this happen with like, what just happened with Wall Street bets and the GameStop, you know, and also this Aquarius energy is like community taking the lead. It's so beautiful. Like this is like poetry in action, and um, like we have to keep the momentum going, man. Like this is how we're beginning this year, and like we have to carry this energy all the way through to March. Like for really, it's like February is gonna be a party month. Let's say it's gonna be intense in February. The Aquarian energy intensifies a lot, especially on the 11th, actually, particularly. I need to come up with a good stream schedule as well. I don't want to stream at midnight. I'm thinking about 6 o'clock streams, but then I gotta work. I don't know, any other super woke topics I was thinking about going over? I don't know, particularly. I kind of had no plan when I came on the stream anyway. I just got off that Akira stream, and I just felt like sharing some positive vibes, and like I was like, why not? Just get on here and just make a quick video. But I didn't feel like making a video if I didn't have a topic in mind to talk about. I just wanted to like chat and like elevate, and I don't know, throw some pebbles in the pond of life that are going on right now and switch things around. Being like this whole Aquarian age going on and being like a super Aquarius, like on my chart, and all the other points in my chart. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to get into that. It's like amazing, but it's interesting how this is just all happening, and like this awakening phase I've been in, but not only for just everybody's been like in this whole not everybody, but more people are awakening, and it's beautiful. They say beauty will save the world, and I was thinking about that earlier actually, and I just thought it was interesting how like the Greek philosophers came up with that. And yeah, I forgot exactly who said it. So, but um, at the moment, but it's been mentioned several times. Um, but like things that are beautiful make you smile when you look at them. That's true beauty. That's what beauty in art is. Like you it gives you a reaction. That's what beauty is. Um, like memes can be beautiful, right? Like when you laugh at a good meme, that's beauty in the making. When you're playing a game, like video games are art, or a good video game is like true. It's like the truest of arts as far as I'm concerned, because it's taking all the elements of the human experience and like putting it all together. And when it's done extremely well, it's a piece of art. Where it's visually beautiful, the story is beautiful, the gameplay style is beautiful because it's intuitive, or it just feels it feels natural when you play it. And then and that all equals. And then like when it has when all these elements match perfectly, it's like it's art. Like it's perfectly flowing together, or is perfectly crafted. It's like, wow, like this was a great video game. I can't think of any great video games right now off the top of my head. Or like also it's symbolically significant as well. Like let's say Earthbound, right? Game people always love because of its structure, the story, uh, and the artwork in it as well. The music in that game is really good. And maybe visually it's not so, I don't know, what's the word to say? Advanced, I suppose. But even visually, like, I still think it's really good because, like, if you played the game, you know what all these little creatures look like and how they're all unique and everything has their own little music, and then and just everything is uniquely designed. Um, and then like the story, it goes from this simple point where you're just a boy who discovers a meteorite and a magic bee, which is so significant in itself. Oh my gosh, like you can there's so much you can dissect about Earthbound because it's a piece of art, and there's so much you can extract out of it. Um, I think that would make like something extremely beautiful. That's why I think like when people, I think that's where video games have gone down the wrong path in a way, where they're more concerned about like how the game looks and only how it looks, and it's not so much about the entire experience of it. Ghost of Tsushima, which was beautifully designed, and I didn't play it. I watched my husband play it. The gameplay was like really cool, and like the artwork was cool, and the storyline and everything matched up. The colors, the oh my gosh, like all this stuff that played into the whole. What's really interesting when I think about it is when my husband was playing the game, he missed like the first haiku session or whatever, and so at the very end of the game, when he had basically done everything else, just 100% it, he wouldn't have found the first haiku to do it. And I don't know, something spoke to me a little bit about that kind of like, it's almost like, I don't know how to describe, like it's like you go through your whole life thinking like you got it, like you understand it, but then you come back to the basics, and then it's like, wow, I really understand it. You know, it's just watch this Vervaeke stream, and it's like it's a systematic change in your salience landscape, because it just changes how you view the entire thing, you know. And it's like it put the haiku sessions in a totally different perspective for me at that point, in a weird way. But yeah, but like, you know, that's the beauty in things. You know, the beauty is in the synchronicities as well, because it's like your life, as your life unfolds and you're paying attention, you're aware, you realize how life is beautiful around you. And even like the ugly things, they're kind of, you know, it just like it's still another paintbrush, a stroke with a brush in your life, as it's being, you know, created and crafted, you know, as spirit designed it to be, you know. And things come out more beautiful when we go with the flow, as spirit is trying to, you know, show through our lives. Yeah, you know. So, and also like about how beauty saves this world, or will save us all, is like, just in through art. It's like that's why like, I don't know, like maybe, I guess like the Greeks and the Romans really had an eye for beauty, that's for sure, you know, or at least for understanding what beauty meant. Uh, I think it's like as they came into the awareness of how ugly things were, how they were living, before they were enlightened, you know, by the Egyptians. And so, like, when they became enlightened, they became aware of things, you know, and beauty became like this spring of everything, like the beauty of thought and the beauty of artwork and everything like that. Instead of being barbarians that they were in the previous century before they started creating art, you know, and vandals and all this kind of stuff. And then it's like they realized how ugly things were, and really wanted to make things more beautiful again. But then Rome came along and decided they wanted power over everything, instead of, and went back to being ugly, and gave us this synthetic, that's the word, synthetic beauty, basically, you know, with materialism and consumerism, you know, all these things that seem nice on the surface, but, you know, all that glitters isn't gold. And like, this whole idea of consuming everything is, you know, and that power is the beauty, you know, that they've created for us. You know, that's exactly what's going on. It's like so much of the beauty that used to be on this earth has just been plain destroyed by the antics of the what you call, of the Roman Empire, you know. And Rome didn't fall. And like, and then they think just because, you know, Just because things look nice on the surface, they think that's supposed to satisfy people, but it's not. People need that internal beauty, that true beauty that resonates from within. Need some of that Chick-fil-A ice. But yeah, man, beautiful things exist out there. They're everywhere. Hey guys, shout out to Akira the Don. Yo, like, these fucking beats are amazing. Don't copyright me, Akira, please. I love you. But yeah, but beauty is symbolic, and when your mind like mine's a shamanic mind, uh, and someone who studied psychology and history, and I understand how stories work because I'm a writer. It's not even that I'm a writer. I just understand stories. I understand how things lay out, and that's just how my brain works. Like I see this pattern in everything, and or I can find a pattern in everything, and the pattern is huge and it's interwoven. There's several layers, and like when you just start to peek underneath the layers a little bit, everything starts to, you can figure anything out, but you just have to know what it looks like and what you're looking for. Especially when you understand symbols, Jung understood symbols. Carl Jung, his named asteroid actually is like it's like conjunct my sun as well. So I really feel like he's like one of my spirit guides in a way. I feel like everything that Jung has did, like Jung, like Peterson, those two are actually very closely connected. I think I said this in my astrology video on him, but Jung died almost exactly a year before Jordan Peterson was born. So that's extremely interesting to any of the Peterson fans out there. But there's a reason why these things are lining up the way they are. And we also all, Jung, Peterson, and me, we all have a Saturn Aquarius. So it's really interesting how this all is just flowing together. Believe in synchronicities, yo, they're real. And when we realize these synchronicities, when we realize the flow that we're in, this is how we win. That's why there's so much distraction towards everything. That's why there's, all this stuff going on to keep your mind off what's really in front of you. We're really in the flood right now. We really are. But, if you go with the flow, you're not going to drown. You'll just swim along. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. So much cups of energy I have. So, high vibes. We know who the master is. Ooh, it's late. Well, it's exactly 1 hour, 11 minutes. So I think I'll just end my stream here. And it was fun talking to everybody. Um, well, my one viewer for the stream. And to everybody else who will see this uploaded later on my channel, thanks for watching.